Okay, thank you, Lindsay. So, welcome to the Hidden Ref Awards 2024. I'm Simon Hetrick, I'm the chair of the Hidden Refs, and I'd like to welcome you all to the awards. And I want to start off by telling you a bit about why we've been running the Hidden Ref. So, in a nutshell, it's exactly as we say in this slide. If we don't recognize the people who are vital to research, we limit our ability to conduct research. A lot of the work that underpins research does not fall within the boundaries of traditional research assessment, and this means we overlook many of the fundamentally important research outputs without which there would just simply be no research. It also means that many of the people whom we rely on to conduct research are not recognized for their absolutely vital contributions. If we can change the way that success is measured within universities and research organizations, we can make research more equitable and this is really important, more effective. Now, the Hidden Ref is a volunteer-run activity, so I have a lot of people to thank. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of the Hidden Ref committee. These are all volunteers. They've given up their time to run the campaign simply because they want to create a better culture around research assessment. Of particular note, and you'll have heard from her already, is Lindsay Ballantyne, who I'd like to say a huge thank you to on behalf of the committee for running the competition this year and basically making it better than the previous year and better in every single way. So you'll be hearing from Lindsay soon, but before we get there, I'd like to talk about the fact that our campaign could not work without the help of our supporters. So our supporters are a wide range of organizations from across research disciplines. They help get the message out to their communities and more importantly, they provide invaluable experience of how we can change research assessment to include their communities. And before I hand over to Lindsay, I have one other thing I would like to say, which is we have some news that's going to be very exciting and very significant news. But unfortunately, to hear that, you're going to have to wait until the end of the ceremony. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Lindsay, who will tell us more about this year's competition.
Thanks, Simon, and hello, everyone. This seems to be working. So I am Lindsay Ballantyne, Community Manager for the Software Sustainability Institute and this year's Hidden Ref competition chair. It's been a learning curve for me, but I am humbled by the experience and I've been in awe at each and every submission that I had the pleasure of reading, as well as the enthusiasm from everyone involved in running the competition. But to bring you up to date on how the competition got to where it is today, I'm going to give you an update. No, I'm not. I'm going to give you an overview of its journey. So the Hidden Ref competition began in 2020. There were some delays along the way for obvious reasons. The competition focused on the ref output categories that we know to be underrepresented in ref submissions and also incorporated new suggestions from the research community to highlight other overlooked contributions. It was open to anyone working in research in UK research institutions, and the inaugural competition received 120 submissions from over 60 institutions, with a third of those being in the hidden role category. So fast forward to 2023, when many of the committee met in person for the first time, and we hosted the Hidden Ref Festival, an event bringing together over 100 people who work in non-traditional research roles alongside policymakers, publishers, and others involved in research assessment. The participants of the event reviewed the 2020-21 competition. They explored ways to expand recognition of the hidden roles and outputs, and we gathered input on revising the categories and the structure for the 2024 competition. Then in 2024, building on insights from the festival, as well as further crowdsourcing, we made a few changes to the existing categories and we introduced 4 new ones, bringing the total up to 24, apparently I can't read, which were later grouped into 5 panels for assessment. So this year, the competition received 113 submissions, this time from over 41 institutions. We recruited 31 expert panelists from the community who have volunteered their time to work together to assess each of the submissions. And I'd like to say a really, really huge thank you to each of you for taking your time to complete the assessment process. The competition genuinely would not be possible without your help. And I personally received some really lovely messages from panelists about their reasons for wanting to be involved. And we really do have a fantastic community spirit here at the Hidden Ref. If you could pop on to the next slide for me, Simon. So for the 5 panels that I mentioned, the 24 categories were organised by output type for evaluation, which is the approach used by the ref. So our panelists reviewed each of the submissions using the hidden ref principles of visibility and significance. They then submitted scores and convened to discuss the results and determine the winners and accommodations. Following that hard work, the five panel advisors and myself met to review the results from each panel and ensure the fairness across the board. So you may notice during the ceremony that some panels have more winners and commendations than others, but I'd like to assure you that our assessment process accounted for this, and we carefully balanced overall scores and results of all the submissions. Right, so before getting onto the eagerly awaited results, I'd just like to run through the structure of the 5 panels to help you understand how it all fits together. I realise that I got you to go forward there a bit early. So we have the applications of research panel, which has 4 of the underrepresented output categories from REF. And we have our wonderful panelists listed here, which are on each of these next slides. If you could pop onto the next slide. We have the Communicative Outputs panel, which has 9 more of the REF output categories, and then 2 new options. We have public engagement and campaigns, which were added this year to recognise other vital research contributions. Next slide. The context panel is for citizen science, community building, Grimpact, and a new everything else category for contributions that just don't fit anywhere else. Next slide. The practices panel for training, research infrastructure, which previously was named access to facilities. Then we have standards and a new category this year for research teams. Next slide. And finally, the most popular category from both of the competitions. It needs a panel all to itself. It's the hidden role panel, which recognises a wide range of professional roles that contribute to research. So I'll end this section by saying a thank you to everyone who submitted their work or that of a colleague to the hidden ref. Even if you don't win today, your contribution has helped build a valuable evidence base that supports the campaign for broader recognition of the essential work and people who drive research forward. So without further ado, I'll hand over to my fellow committee member to kick off the awards. James.
Hi, I'm James Baker from the University of Southampton. It's obviously a delight to be here for the second Hidden Ref Awards, and it's lovely to see so many of you here in attendance today. We're going to run through the 5 panels one by one, with winners and commendations being announced for each. So I will now hand over to Kalpana Shankar to talk about our first award, or first set of awards for the applications of research panel, and that being that covers patent software products, datasets, etc. Kalpana.
Thank you, James. And I'm Kalpana Shankar, Professor of Information Communication Studies at University College Dublin. And I had the privilege to chair the applications of research panel. And I'd like to say that we had actually 2 awards. One, the first one is highly commended. And then we also had an overall winner. So first I will tell you about the highly commended award. And this goes to Claire Jones, University of Dundee, in the software category, supporting clinical trials through healthcare informatics. And this proposal was to honor a suite of bespoke tools to support clinical trial functions. And the winner of the overall category is Sarjhana Brindha at CAMHS Digital Lab, King's College London, Devices, Products, Interventions, and Other Tools and Guidance. And Sarjhana proposed myHealthE, which is a secure web-based platform to enhance the collection of patient-reported outcome measures in child and adolescent mental health services. Congratulations to both, and let's turn it over to Sarjhana to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this incredible recognition. It's truly an honor to receive the Hidden Ref Award for the applications of research category, and this achievement is the result of hard work, creativity, and dedication of an amazing team Every person involved in myHealthE brought their unique expertise and passion, and we're proud of what we've accomplished together. This award is a celebration of that collective effort. Well, thank you once again, and congratulations to everyone who made this possible. Thank you.
I just want to say a big congratulations to Sarjhana for that award, our first winner. Really amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And hi, I'm Emma Caroon. I'm a senior researcher at the Alan Turing Institute and obviously a member of the Hidden Ref Committee. I'm just going to move us swiftly on to our next award for Communicative Outputs, and this is going to be chaired by Katrina Manville. So over to you, Katrina.
Thank you very much. Hi all, my name's Katrina Manville and I'm the Director of Research Policy at the Association for Medical Research Charities, and I chaired the panel on communicative outputs. We had 27 applications, so it was a very strong and very diverse field, and I would just like to thank all the applicants for the things that they put in, because it led to a great discussion amongst the panel. But we did have to make some hard decisions, and hopefully we were up to the challenge for that. So we have two highly commended within this field. One to Lynne Bianchi from the University of Manchester as a campaigns piece that was put in on the Great Science Share for schools. And the second one to Hannah Baumeister from Liverpool John Moores University in the field of public engagement for the forced marriage comic I Choose, which was created to teach teachers in UK secondary schools about forced marriage. And finally, the panel selected a winner in this field, which was Holly Blake from the University of Nottingham for digital or visual media. And it was the digital package for mitigating the psychological impact of COVID-19 on health and care workers. So congratulations to all three. Holly can't be with us today, but I do have some comments from her that I'd like to read out to you all. So these are her words. I'd like to thank the Hidden Ref team for setting up this competition to value the substantial work which happens outside of Ref and all the people who contribute. I'll now tell you a little bit about our work. The COVID-19 pandemic spread rapidly around the world and led to over 7 million deaths. The psychological impact on health and care workers across the globe was unprecedented, and our research found high levels of anxiety, burnout, and post-traumatic stress. For context, the overall costs of mental ill health equate to double the NHS's entire budget for England, and mental ill health is the leading cause of NHS sickness absence. There were no supportive interventions available at that time, and urgent action was needed. Within 3 weeks of the pandemic outbreak, we developed and released a comprehensive digital package for health and care workers, including evidence-based guidance, support and signposting related to mitigating the psychological impacts of the pandemic on health and care workers. It covered strategies for self-help, managing emotions, communication, social support, and psychological first aid, as well as including guidance for team leaders in supporting the workforce's mental health. This digital resource was released in March 2020. I developed it with support from Fiona Birmingham, who was a mental health first aider researcher at the time. We had technical support from Richard Kish, who worked in the University of Nottingham's digital marketing team and helped us to get all the content online. 2 emergency medicine consultants helped us with the evaluation, Dr. Andrew Tabner and Dr. Graham Johnson. The development process was rapid but very rigorous and involved 162 people taking part in interactive workshops, peer review processes, and a rapid evaluation. These people came from various countries and had diverse backgrounds on the front line, including doctors, nurses, allied health professionals, care workers, domestic assistants, and hospital porters. We're delighted to be a winner in the Hidden Ref, which recognises the value and global impact of this work. The work wasn't funded. It led to a digital output that could not be returned in Ref 2021, but it was vital and timely intervention for the health and care workers. NHS employers described this digital resource as a lifesaver for colleagues across the NHS at a difficult time, and we have had similar testimonials from international organisations. This work formed the basis of research which is now the highest cited in its field and generated significant impact. The resource was accessed by over 77,000 health and care workers across the world within 12 months of release. The UK Royal College of Nursing used the materials to support COVID-19 nurse leadership training during the pandemic. And post-pandemic, our research paper is cited as best practice and has influenced mental health policy over 4 years in the UK, Sweden, France, and the EU. Thank you, Hidden Ref team, for raising awareness of research activities, outputs, and contributions that are often overlooked. And thank you for our award. Well, hopefully that gives you a bit of a sense of the sorts of things that we were seeing in the panel and the awards that we wanted to give. So back over to the team.
Hello, it's me. I'm back again. So, and yes, wonderful research, and it's really lovely to hear, the impact of that research, and indeed be reminded of some of those more sobering times. Just a little note from me at the midpoint where we're through the awards, that if you want to applaud in any way, raising your hands and waving, clapping on the camera, or putting something, we're using the reactions is always appreciated, as well as notes in the chat. So we'll now move on to our next award. For context, and that's the panel that includes citizen science, community building, and related activities, and that'll be chaired by Andrew Plume. So over to Andrew.
Well, thank you, James, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andrew Plume at Elsevier, and it's been my honour and privilege to chair the Hidden Ref Contexts panel this year. Together with my esteemed panel, we considered submissions across 4 different Hidden Ref categories. Those were citizen science, community building, Grimpact, and everyone's favourite category 11, everything else. So on behalf of that panel, it is my pleasure to now reveal those submissions who achieved a high commendation, no less than 4 in total. So the highly commended projects are as follows. In category 3, citizen science, we have Professor Fiona McPherson and her team from the Universities of Glasgow and Sussex on the perception census, which is one of the largest ever scientific studies on human perception ever conducted. In category 5, highly commended for community building, is Professor David Sims and team from universities of Oxford, Edinburgh, Dundee and Aberdeen on XNet, CrossNet, a cross-disciplinary network, a collaboration of technical experts, research professionals and interdisciplinary researchers. In category 11, everything else with the exclamation point at the end is one of our 2 highly commended here, Patty Biggs, Information Services Specialist at the Francis Crick Institute, for a series of expert-written search strategies in PubMed to ensure that any animal research carried out is essential and is conducted humanely, whilst also saving time and ensuring consistency for researchers. And finally, highly commended in category 11, everything else, is Liz Hare, co-lead of the Accessibility Working Group with the Turing Way and team at the Alan Turing Institute, for making the Turing Way, which is an open science, open collaboration, community-driven handbook for reproducible, ethical and collaborative data science, even more accessible. And finally, I can now announce the winner selected from amongst the submissions to the Hidden Ref Context panel this year from category 5 community building is the Open Research Scotland group, Valerie McCutcheon and her several colleagues at the University of Glasgow. Now, while Valerie is preparing to come on screen to accept the award, allow me to add that the Open Research Scotland group is an inclusive group that facilitates discussions around the world of open research and provides hands-on support for researchers. The panel was especially impressed with the tangible achievements of the group, as well as its inclusive structure, encompassing as it does people in very diverse roles, and its focus on practical support for the delivery of the open research agenda. As one of our reviewers put it, this work is critical, but will easily be missed in REF. Valerie, may I turn to you?
Wow. I'm very surprised. It's really, really exciting for us to know that Hidden Ref have actually chosen to recognise the work we do in support of research. We were really not expecting that at all. We simply wanted to raise the profile of our group, and we thought, oh, maybe some text will appear on the Hidden Ref website somewhere. Someone might read about us. They might be inspired to start their own group or reinvigorate it, or maybe talk to us about open research. That would be nice. So yeah, we're extremely surprised. It's not a Glasgow thing. It's definitely a Scottish thing. It's a collaboration of many volunteers across Scotland that make this happen. It's a very fruitful group with lots of activity. So we are absolutely delighted that this has been recognised. And hopefully we will go on to do some more good work in this space. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thanks so much, Valerie. Big congratulations to you and your Open Research Scotland group. I'm particularly excited to see a community building initiative being recognised in this way. So thank you very much. And everyone, please do give a round of applause to all of the winners as we go through. We're now going to move on to our next award, which is for practices. This panel was chaired by Kevin Boyack, who unfortunately can't be with us today. So this award will be presented by Gemma Derrick, who was the panel advisor for this panel. And over to you, Gemma.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. As I said, I worked as a panel advisor on the practices panel, and it was chaired by Kevin Boyack from Cytec Strategies in the US. Unfortunately, Kevin can't be with us here today. We were quite a diverse panel with Kevin chairing. We also were joined by Nicholas Garcia Robinson from the University of Granada, Laura Gnogler from Scriptoria, as well as Samantha Wilkinson from Manchester Met University. We had 25 submissions over 4 different categories at the Hidden Ref, including training material and courses, research infrastructure, standards, and the new category for Hidden Ref 2024, which was research teams. The panel was extremely impressed with the breadth of the submissions. Scoring happened in 2 rounds, both independently as well as in panel meeting, where discussion took place in order to determine the winners. We had 2 highly commendeds and 1 winner. And without further ado, I would like to announce the highly commendeds. The first highly commended Oops, sorry, I can't find my note. My first highly commended went to Catherine Dean from the University of Anglia for the research infrastructures category, and for the catapult cell and gene therapy ATMP lab. And the second highly commended goes to Simon Kerridge and Liz Allen for their standards category for creating the contributor role taxonomy, otherwise known as credit. And without further ado, and unfortunately we don't have this music that we would have had if this had been the Academy Awards, but I do have an envelope. I'd like to announce the winner, and I'd like to have a drum roll so I can hear you all do it. The winner is, for the research teams category, the Research and Development Workshops team at the University of Exeter, submitted by their manager, who is Brendan Courtney. Can I say before I hand over to Brendan that one of the things that was brought up by the panel was that they all saw themselves as researchers in this particularly important group, which designs and makes items for every academic across the entire university in order to ensure them to do their research. They also teach and support their students and researchers, as well as make the items themselves. So without further ado, congratulations, Brendan.
Thanks very much, everyone, and thanks to the committee and your efforts as well for raising awareness around those who are unrecognized in research, and I hope it progresses everyone's profiles. The people who earned this are the guys in the team. Nev, Pete, Nick, Martin, George, Adam, Louis, and Luke. It's their efforts that have achieved this. So yeah, as I said, we design and make things for anyone at the University of Exeter. We've also made stuff for other universities, for industry partners, all sorts of things. We're multidisciplinary, so we do mechanical and electrical, and we do some software as well. And typically how it works is an academic knocks on our door and says, so I have an idea, and there's usually a sketch or a very broad brief, and a lot of head scratching, and yeah, but it requires the team to understand the academics' needs, to understand what they're trying to do in quite a lot of depth. So we've become specialists in physics and biology and all sorts of things as well. You know, some of the things we've made environmental chambers, hand warmers, squirrel feeders, seismic test rigs, fish tanks, you name it. Yeah. And yeah, but all the stuff we've done has really supported research. You know, several leading academics here have said that, one in particular I can think of said, if I want to do world leading research, I need bespoke test equipment, and you can't buy that off the shelf. Somebody has to make it, somebody has to design it. And very recently, another academic, we made an automated measurement machine for one of his projects, and suddenly he had more time to do research because all his measurements were being automated now, and he was quite a leading professor, so you know, time is very important to him. I think the one story that I think I sent into the application was we did an internship recently where we had an 18-year-old student, a physics student, come in and apply, you know, for the position, and she had just finished at Rutherford Labs on an internship, and we asked her why do you want to come and work with us? And she said, well, what I've learned from my time at Rutherford is if I want to do world leading research, I need to work with world leading technicians. So I want to understand how you guys work so I can go on and do exceptional research. And you know, that insight from someone of that age I thought was amazing. So yeah, so this is to, you know, all the unknowns in research, and you know, thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Brendan. And I'm sure our partners in the technician commitment would agree that we need world-class technicians to support research. We're now on to our last award, Hidden Role, which is our most, I guess, I mean, they're all quite person-focused awards, but our most particularly person-focused award. The panel for which was chaired by James Cleaver, and I'll hand over to James now.
Thank you. Hi all, I'm James Cleaver. I'm head of publishing at F1000, and yeah, I had the honor of being the chair for the Hidden Role category this year. The award for Hidden Role is assigned as a different category due to its focus on individuals and small teams. The submissions that we received, they illustrated the crucial roles that individuals play, fostering and maintaining high quality, valuable working cultures within research. For this reason, the panel believe that the Hidden Role category is vitally important in recognising those individuals and small teams whose contributions are truly hidden and not formally recognised in the ref. So many of the submissions demonstrated people who go beyond the normal constraints of their job role, and we saw a wide range of entries, with one particular submission creating some emotional reactions in the panel around the reduction in the use of animals in research and improving their welfare. We were delighted to receive 26 submissions for the panel's consideration, and many of these were very strong, and that meant the panel had a rather daunting task in trying to identify a winner. And then in the end, we decided to choose 2 joint winners, and we also are going to award a highly commended status to a further 3 submissions. So thank you to everyone who nominated somebody for the Hidden Role. and congratulations to all of those who were subject of a submission. We're glad to recognise your hard work and the important contributions that you all make to research. So, our 3 highly commended submissions. These are, firstly, Dr. Fran Ponting, who's Senior Research Data Scientist for the Consumer Data Research Centre at the University of Leeds. Then we have Jenny Baker, Susanna Rose, Karen Hogg, James Fox, and Katrian van Boxelaar, who are the phlebotomy team at the University of York. And then we also have Sarah Gibson, Danny Garside, Brigitte Schipoj, and Jim Madge, the Open Infrastructure Working Group for the Turing Way at the Alan Turing Institute. So congratulations to all of you on those richly deserved commendations. But I'll now go on to announce our winners. So our 2 winners exhibited all of the qualities the panel felt were essential to the hidden role category of contributing to research culture, the training of others, demonstrating tremendous expertise, and regularly going above and beyond in their job role. So our 2 winners are, firstly, Jenny Adams, who's Open Research Manager at the University of Sheffield, and Laura Henderson, who's a Research Development Manager at the Royal Brompton Hospital. So congratulations to both of you, and could I please first ask Jenny and then Laura to unmute and say a few words.
Hi everybody, thank you so much. This is an incredible surprise. I was not expecting that at all. I would like to thank the colleagues at the University of Sheffield who nominated me for this, which was Rob Chisholm and his colleagues in the RSE team. And the fact of that, I think, illustrates the fact that this kind of role is a very collaborative one. And it has been my delight in this role to work with colleagues across my institution in a range of different contexts to develop a kind of connected way of supporting the uptake and the celebration and foregrounding and surfacing of open research practices at the University of Sheffield. So to say a little bit about my role, it involves leading projects around open research that involve increasing uptake, informing staff, delivering training programs, designing activities and events that can bring people together to talk about open research. And I guess this is a relatively new kind of role in the sphere of open research and research culture. But in terms of people I need to say thank you, I do need to say thank you to the amazing team that I'm a part of at the University of Sheffield, which is the scholarly communications team in the university library, but also that's part of a much broader network of support around open research. In terms of, we have an Office for Open Research now at Sheffield, which is a new initiative that helps us to work collaboratively to support new practices and new kinds of networks and ways of providing support to colleagues in order to make their research as open as they want it to be and to increase the impact of that research. So thank you so much to everybody else who is the kind of scaffolding around my role and helps to make the successes of my role possible. And thank you so much to the Hidden Ref for acknowledging this role. Thank you.
Hi. I thought my heart would stop racing there when Jenny was speaking first, but it hasn't. I'm really shocked to have been named as joint winner for the hidden role. I actually wasn't aware of the Hidden Ref project until this September, when I was contacted by the person who nominated me, which is Dr. Sam Irvine. And then when I read up about it, I thought it was really important to accept the nomination, mainly for 2 reasons. One was to make my department more aware of the Hidden Ref project, which they weren't previously. And then the second reason was just to encourage the team, let them know that we are valued by the researchers that we support, and the tiny contributions that we make to their career success in clinical academia is still meaningful, however small. And yeah, I feel really thrilled. It's such a lovely gift to receive, and I'm going to be completely milking this at work now. So thank you to Sam and Vicky for my nomination. Thank you.
Well, that's been amazing. We've had health, comics, public engagement, open, search strategies, infrastructures, technicians, and finally more open and open related to health as well. So congratulations, everyone. To our winners, to our highly commended entries, and thanks, of course, to the panel chairs who came along, the panelists as well, and everyone has been involved in the second Hidden Ref competition. It's been amazing. I'm now going to hand over to Simon to close things off.
Thank you, James. And thank you to everyone who's taken part in this year's competition, and a huge congratulations to the winners. I have to say that it's a genuinely awe-inspiring thing to take part in this competition, just to see the scale and the impact of the work that we're recognizing that, isn't getting the recognition it deserves within universities. It makes all of our hard work more than worthwhile, and it's just a huge honor to be able to take part in this. So I said earlier that we had some news, and I can now move on to that, which I'm really excited to tell you about. So we've been really fortunate over the last few years to have worked closely with Research England, the REF team, and more recently with RDAP, the Research Diversity Advisory Panel. And over this year, we've worked with them to develop a bid to support the Hidden Ref's work. And I'm hugely excited to announce that our bid has now been successful. So the new project is called Embedding Trust and Evaluation. It will run for 5.5 years, and it will become the umbrella project, which will include future Hidden Ref competitions and festivals. It's a £3.6 million grant that will be run from the University of Southampton and from the University of Bristol. This means we're no longer a volunteer community, and that will revolutionise the impact that we can have. In the run-up to the 2029 REF, we'll be working closely with, again, Research England, the REF team, and RDAP, to raise awareness of hidden outputs and roles, and to develop guidance that can be used within universities to support these outputs and roles in a more formal and conventional sense. We'll be running community consultations to extract from the community practical advice on how to assess hidden outputs and roles. We'll be refining that guidance with the REF teams within the universities themselves, and we'll be conducting research on the most effective ways of dealing with this evidence. And we now have support to continue running our Hidden Ref competitions and festivals, culminating in an in-person award in 2028. So that would be hugely exciting to see the winners in person. On behalf of the Hidden Ref team, on all our supporters, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Research England for this support. It means that we can now succeed in our mission to change research culture and make it more equitable and more effective. So once again, a huge thank you to everybody for taking part in the competition and the festival and all of our campaigning, because it's really only with that support that we were able to get this bid through and hopefully make really significant and magnificent changes in the future. So I would say goodbye at that stage, but we're actually going to try and take a photo, which is something I'm really interested to see whether this is going to work or not. So the idea, I'll give you some time to turn your cameras on or off. If you want to be in the photo, and then please turn your cameras on, and then if you would prefer not to be, then please turn them off. I have no idea how the next bit's going to go at all, but we're going to try and take some photos, and I think somebody's going to tell me when to stop talking. And hopefully somebody will tell me when the photo's been taken.
I've got one photo. Hang on, everyone. Cheese. Wait, okay, cheese again. And I need to paste. Okay, one more, two more cheeses. Cheese. No, the third page is everyone with their cameras off. I'm going to do one last
if the cameras are off, then
I'm going to smile this time. Ready? There we go. I think we've at least got some people.
I think, yeah. So thank you for that slightly awkward bit at the end. Again,
like you say, we weren't sure how that was going to go, but we tried.
A huge thank you to everybody, and yeah, and keep an eye on the Hidden Ref website to see what's happening from the start of next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.